Hello and welcome to the latest Sun Racing preview in association with Betway. This week we're going to be talking about Betfair Super Saturday. I'm delighted to be joined on my left by Steve Mullin, aka Templegate, and Jack Keene of Sun Racing to discuss the weekend's action, which includes the return of superstar chaser Altior, superstar chaser Native River, and a huge field in the Betfair hurdle. First up, we're going to talk about Altior and the Betfair Exchange Chase. He hasn't been seen since November when he finished second to Surname in the clash of the Titans. That really wasn't quite the clash that everyone hoped it would be. Heavy ground was to blame for his defeat there and the fact he wasn't quite ready for the race. Steve, do you think he'll need to be at his best to win this, or can he win it by not being quite his best?
I don't think he needs to be anywhere near as good as he can be. It wasn't that bad a run on comeback. Okay, he didn't win. We were all expecting him to win, and he had that massive winning run. That was ruined. But I mean, he's still better than any of these, even at half speed, and this race will really tell us where he is with Cheltenham in mind more than tomorrow. I mean, if he gets beat in this, then it's worrying times, definitely.
And he's so far clear on ratings, isn't he?
Yeah, and the others have all got questions to answer. I mean, you've got like So Royal and Kalashnikov. He shouldn't be up to this standard. No. He should win this, and as I say, if he doesn't, it's worry time.
Yeah. Do you agree, Jack?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, me and you were down at Nicky's earlier in the week, and all the reports have been very good. They're saying piece of work he did the other day, no other horse in England could have kept up with him. He was frighteningly quick. So if all these reports are right and he is anywhere, I mean, even if he's 75%, he should turn up and win.
If he does win and goes to the Champion Chase, it's an absolute race for the ages, isn't it?
Well, if you're thinking about backing him for Cheltenham, you probably should do it now, because I think he's 100 to 37 to 2 around that. And if you'd have told me that after he crossed the line 12 months ago, you'd have been delighted and bitten the hand off. So probably if you're thinking, if you're keeping the faith, it's probably the time to bet now for Cheltenham.
Yeah, he's already been nibbled. He's been nibbled today, because obviously people are preempting that.
So we all agree, guys? Altior all round?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. Moving on now to former Gold Cup hero Native River, who takes part in the Betfair Denman Chase Grade 2 contest here. He another one who is a very, very short price favourite here. But again, it looks as though he's got pretty much no opposition. I mean, Steve, do you think it's an absolute good thing?
Well, he should be. I was at Aintree last time and he just skipped around. I mean, my bite departed early and then has run a runner's stinker over hurdles last time, so I don't know what they're going to do with him. But Native River, that was a good run from him. I know he didn't have much to beat, but he kept going, good engine.
It looked good, didn't it?
It did. And
it always helps, I think.
I wouldn't actually rule him out of running well in the Gold Cup if it's soft. It's obviously got to be soft. But I mean, when you look, there's a lot of question marks around the Gold Cup at the moment. You could easily see him running into certainly the top 5 if it was bottomless. And again, he really should be winning this.
Absolutely. Jack, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Short price, but I mean, he should be winning this very easily. Really,
I mean, the only one within kind of touching distance on ratings is Mike Bite, but I mean, he's looked a shadow of his former self. Terrible run at Cheltenham when he was pulled up over hurdles.
But we've heard that Nico de Boinville's been taking him off and hunting and jumping over walls and hedges and all sorts of things, trying to get him interested, wake him up. Apparently, he's been loving life, but it would have to be some kind of rediscovery of form to push Native River close.
Absolutely.
I mean, ever since that near missing the Gold Cup, he's just never quite been the same. I mean, he won at Aintree afterwards, but that season
bottomed out.
He's really never been the same since then.
And I think the likes of Secret Investor, Activial, Atoir Phil, who's actually starting out for Gary Moore, which is very interesting. But even at their best, they're going to have to struggle at this level, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Secret Investor may do better than he did last time, especially now how well the yard's going. But shouldn't be enough to be winning.
Needs the ground to dry. It likes good ground, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So we're all with Native River again, I assume.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Lovely stuff. Now moving on to the big race of the weekend, the Betfair Hurdle. As always, this is an absolute minefield. Not so sleepy heads the market for Hughie Morrison after running away with a very competitive handicap at Ascot before Christmas. He's taking on the likes of Never Adapt and Ciel de Neige, both for JP McManus, the Banner King Rebel, Mac the Man, Oakley, and loads of others. Jack, I might come to you first, if I may, this time. Who takes your eye in this?
Well, I'm quite keen on the Banner King Rebel for Jamie Snowden, who's having a fantastic season, by far his best ever season. He's had 43 winners already. This is a progressive horse. He has some good form at Haydock this year. Bolted up in a listed race 2 starts ago. The form of that's worked out pretty nicely. He was a good third under a Penno at Haydock again last time in a Grade 2. They ran that in quite a decent time considering the ground. And he was potentially a little bit unlucky. He was squeezed out coming up the running, so he probably could have finished a bit closer, but he's still progressive. He handles all types of ground. It's a good race for novices, this, so I think he's got quite a nice profile for the race.
I know you spoke to Jamie Snowden earlier in the week, didn't you? Did he say anything?
Yeah, very positive. Yeah. I mean, I asked him about the fact that he normally goes forward in his races. Does he have to do that? He said no, it's just been, in the novice hurdles we've been running in, there's been no pace, so we've kind of just gone on with him. But I think if Not So Sleepy's in here, he'll probably tear off at a million miles an hour, and he'll be happily take a lead off him, so no problem there.
Great. Steve, what about you?
Yeah, a lightly raced 5 or 6 year old you're looking for in this, and I do like Cheltenham. I know he was long odds on when beaten last time, but it was still a good run. Was obviously rusty after a break. Likes a big field, as the run at Cheltenham last year showed. He's got some fancy entries like the Supreme Novices Hurdle and the Ballymore, but I think this might be Willie Mullins having a bit of a sighter.
Absolutely, you can't ignore a Willie Mullins type in this kind of race, can you? No. I'm going to go with a massive price, actually 40 to 1 shot, called Zanza. Philip Hobbs. This horse has won at Newbury twice from 2 runs. He was quite impressive last time he ran here. He's been out of form for his last 2 runs, but Sean Houlihan gets on well with the horse. He's won on him last time at Newbury. The ground has come right for him. I think he'd be very hard to beat if he does get a good run through, because he likes to come from the back. He'll need a strong pace, but I can see 40 to 1 is a big old price considering he's 2 from 2 at Newbury, and this kind of race should suit. The other one I like is Stolen Silver for Nigel Davis. This horse got up in the nick of time on a brilliant ride from Sun Racing ambassador Sam Twiston-Davis last time out. Whether or not he'll get quite the same luck this time out,
big pull in the weights with Banner King Rebel.
Well, indeed,
he was giving him weight, and now he's going to be getting about £5 or £6, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's another one who's under a penalty.
Yeah.
Training obviously has a fantastic record in the race. He's won it quite a few times with the likes of Ballyandy, and I can see him running a big race too.
What do you make of Mac the Man? I think a mark of 130 looks pretty tempting.
Tasty, isn't it? Yeah.
That was my kind of longer price one. Well, I don't know what kind of price it is now.
6 to 1 now. I think it's absolutely smashed.
Okay, well, scratch that. It's
well, no,
it's got a good price.
Everyone else seems to love it, so you're not wrong.
It's gone up £8, I think, but he's everything he sends out's winning at the moment. 7 Williams. So
what season he's having?
So it could be right there.
Selection time. I'm going to stick with Zanza. Steve?
Cheltenham for me.
Great, and Jack?
The Banner King Rebel for me.
Great. Next up, it's over to Warwick, where the Kingmaker Chase takes centre stage. Newbury Negra, a very, very high-class chaser who just failed in Grade 1 company at Sandown last time, is the favourite for this. He's taking on a very select field, including the likes of Moonlighter, Fanion d'Estraval, Torpillo, Champagne Mystery and Rouge Vif, amongst a couple of others. Steve, come to you first. Which one takes your eye most in this?
Just about Newbury Negra. It's not a confident choice, because I think there's a couple in this who could progress what you would expect them to in a race like this. Precious Cargo is the one I'm thinking particularly. I know he was beaten by Moonlighter last time, but I think
wasn't given the stiffest of rides.
No,
was he?
And there was a late mistake, and I think ride. 10 yards past the lollipop, he was in front.
Yeah,
I think there'll be a lot more to come, but I think Newbury Negra's experience might just edge it now. But if you're asking me one as a long-term prospect, I think Precious Cargo could do, if that's not sitting on the fence too much.
No, not at all. No fence sitting at all. Jack, what about you?
I agree that Precious Cargo is a nice horse, actually. And to be fair, I was looking through this field earlier, and I thought you could pick holes in all of them. I wasn't really confident about any of them. So I think if I was going to have a bet, I might have a little tickle each way on Champagne Mystery, who gagged up at Aintree.
Did win very impressively that day.
And he bumped into a strong stayer on soft ground at Haydock. I think the drop back in trip could suit him.
I think Precious Cargo should get his revenge on Moonlighter if justice is to be done. But for me, it is Newbury Negra. He's what I like to call a scamperer. He kind of scampers into his races. Never really looks on
Is that an actual word?
Scamperer.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know. I have kind of made it up, but he kind of scampered into the race at Sandown last time. Scampered into the race when he last won at Warwick. Comes there cruising. I was a bit disappointed actually. He didn't win at Sandown, but I think he got beaten by a pretty good horse in Esprit de Large. Yeah. This is not as strong a field in my opinion. No. I mean, you've got Torpillo in there as well. We haven't mentioned.
He was well beaten.
He was well beaten, and I don't see any reason, particularly, why Torpillo should come out on top.
Very disappointing at Sandown, but if you go on his Warwick win before that, where Mr. he pinged Fisher. Every fence, Mr. Fisher was second.
Okay, well, lovely. So, Newbury Negra for me, he's one of the best horses the Skeltons have got in their yard. And he has been quite lightly raced, lightly campaigned this season, so I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I just think he's got that little bit of class. He jumps sensationally well as well. And hopefully he can win here and then actually have a go at the Cheltenham Festival, which would be great to see.
I think we just quickly touch on Rouge Vif as well, who obviously ran a really good race at Kempton over Christmas.
That was his
first run after a wind up. It was a step back in the right direction.
I think he certainly wanted a bit more of a trip than this,
perhaps,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, he was pretty much flat to the boards the whole way at Kempton, so this track might be a bit sharp, but I still think he's a nice horse.
Yeah, definitely.
Got beaten by a very good horse over hurdles, Global Sisters, that day. So, yeah, I can see him running a big race. But for me, I'm going to stick with Newbury and Negra, Steve.
Yeah, Newbury and Negra today,
And Jack?
Champagne Mystery each way.
Lovely. Now on to the Betway Lucky 15, 4 selections here from the panel. £1 bet on all 4 selections with the winnings going to the Injured Jockeys Fund. Hopefully we can get some success this week. I'm going to put in Newbury Negra in the Kingmaker. I think he's going to be a good thing for the Skelton. Steve?
Sheldon Edge for me. I think it's a good price and got more to come.
Great stuff in the Betfair Hurdle. And Jack?
Clondor Castle goes in a big 2.5 mile handicap at Warwick.
Great stuff. We're also going to put in Altior, who really shouldn't get beaten, should he, really? And he's not the worst price in the world, despite the fact he is heavily odds on. We mentioned Altior a little bit earlier on, and he is hopefully going to be taking his chance in the Betway Champion Chase at the Cheltenham Festival in March. A race which could see a very, very strong field with the likes of Défi de Soy, Chacun pour soi and A Plus Tard, some French names there for you. I'm a huge fan of Défi du Seuil. I think he's a proper horse. He's won the Clarence House, he's won the Tingle Creek in great style. He absolutely flattered in Dussault at Ascot last time out. And for me, he is the one to beat in this. And I think Steve and Jack, you both agree. Steve?
Absolutely. He was my jumper to follow for the season earlier on. I did think he'd end up in the Ryanair Chase rather than this, but the way he's performed over 2 miles this season, the way he's improved, the way he looks like he's going to improve more, he's every inch a champion chaser in the making, I think.
I completely agree.
Chacun pour soi was impressive over in Leopardstown, but I think has to raise the game again. Some people were complaining about that form. I don't know why, because Min ran very a perfectly good race. I know people are saying that the ground wasn't this and all the rest of it, but I think that was a very, very good run. But I still think, unless Altior comes out and wins 40 lengths, but even then, it'll be a great race with Défi de Soy in the champion.
Could not agree more, Jack.
Yeah, very boring, I agree. If I was having a bet today, I'd be backing Défi. I'm still not convinced with Chacun pour soi. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think he's obviously got an engine, but the race looked a fantastic race at the start of the weekend when you had A Plus Tard and Kilios Emery in there. Obviously, A Plus Tard was taken out, Kilios fell at the first, and it kind of just lost a bit of...
Still beating Min's fair enough.
He still beat Min, but Min ideally wants 2.5, and I suppose the ground was probably a tad quick for him.
I completely agree. I actually have to say, I know Chacun pour soi beat Min at the weekend, but I still think he's got to prove himself in a really hot Grade 1, which he hasn't done yet, because as you say, half the horses didn't really finish. Great, so we're all sticking with Défi de Soy then, nice and easy, for the Betway Champion Chase. That's it this week. Hopefully we've given you some winners ahead of what promises to be a fantastic day of action on Betfair Super Saturday, and we'll see you all very soon.